Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'll call this common council meeting to order. Would you please rise for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk call roll, please?
Chapman.
Here.
Evans. Foodie. Here. Justman.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Runge.
Roll call has been taken. Next is to approve the agenda as printed. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Motion by Foodie, is there a second? Second by Chapman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approve minutes of previous meetings.
So moved.
Motion by Foodie, is there a second? Second by Chapman. Further discussion, questions, or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approve minutes of intervening meetings. Is there a motion to that effect?
I move to approve.
Motion by Justman. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Lee. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public comment regarding agenda items. We have a new face in our midst here. This is our new Dodgeland superintendent. I'd like him to introduce himself and tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Good to be with you. My name's Todd Greco. I'm newly appointed Dodgeland District Administrator, and I'm on day 6 here so far, so a lot of meeting new people, a lot of look and listen and that kind of thing. I'm coming from the Parkview School District, which is where I was the last several years, about 8 years or so. Very excited to be here. Been meeting a lot of new people, been connecting with staff and students already, and wanted to come tonight and meet all of you. So if I can ever be of any assistance or partnership, looking forward to that, and would love to, if my door's open, would love to meet with any and all of you. So
We had a very good working relationship with your predecessor, so
very good.
we'll continue that on.
Yes, absolutely.
My sympathy to the school board you have to work with. I guess you gotta take what you can get there.
That's right. Do the best we can with what we get. Exactly. So no, it's been great, and the welcome has been wonderful. So
You're welcome anytime. Just call City Hall or myself. We'll certainly set up a time to meet with you. So,
thank you.
thank you. David, anything you want to comment?
No, he took care of announcing himself, and we're excited to have him at Dodgeland, and going to be a good fit, I believe, to the district and move it forward. And it's as our motto of a road to a better tomorrow. He's going to get us there. So
I think you had good candidates to choose from.
yeah.
Okay, moving on. Any other public comment tonight? Christine, you have anything you want to comment on? Okay, approve payments of bills. Or do you have any communications first of all? Nothing. Okay, approve payments of bills, checks for $992,699.12. Electronic transfers of $212,000, $118.86. Is there a motion to approve the payment of bills?
So moved.
Motion by Justin,
Second.
second by Chapman. Any further discussion on those? Roll call vote, please.
Justman.
Aye.
Chapman.
Aye.
Foodie. Aye. Lee.
Aye.
Payment of bills has been approved. Moving on, resolution 26, 2025, approved mayoral appointments. Whereas the mayor has diligently searched for individuals willing to give of themselves by serving on the library board, plan commission, and recreation committee, and whereas the mayor wishes to make the following appointments. Plan commission, Josh Nichols, serves till August of 2028. Plan commission, Kathy Ferrari, August of 2028. Plan commission, Bruce Solner, August of 2028. Library board, Brittany Bender, service till July 2028. Library board, Eileen Bratton, July of 2026. And recreation committee, Jennifer White, August of 2028. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council, of the City of Juneau, accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of July 2025. Entertain a motion for passage of Resolution 26, 2025.
I'll motion.
Motion by Chapman. Is there a second?
Second?
Second by Justman. Any further discussion? These are all re-ups with the exception of Brittany Bender. She's an avid user of the library. Spoke with her, she's excited to come aboard. The other ones, the newest one would be Plan Commission. Kathy Ferrari's only had about a year on there, but the other ones have put in full terms and are doing a good job, so. Hope they continue. No other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Chapman?
Aye.
Justman?
Aye.
Footy? Aye. Lee?
Aye.
Resolution 26, 2025 is passed. Anything from clerk treasurer tonight, or acting clerk treasurer?
No.
Okay. Written reports, any questions on the building permit report, police department report, Juneau Fire and Rescue report, Juneau EMS report? Everything good on those? Okay. Moving on, reports, commissions, reports of committees, commissions and boards, library report. We have Connie Schuick, our library director.
Hi, just want to give you an update on our summer programming. We currently have 197 people participating in our reading challenge. We have a science lab about art, color, and light. That's tomorrow. We're doing a World of Wisconsin Cheese with the Dodge County Dairy Promotion Board Thursday night. We have an awkward art next Thursday where you come in and just throw some art together and get a few prompts and see what happens. We have Pine-Sized Pocus coming on July 28th, and then we wrap up our program on August 1st. We're halfway through the year, and our circulation is on par to match or maybe beat last year, so I'm pretty happy about that. So that's over 13,000 physical circulations and over 3,000 electronic content materials. And so that's where we are halfway through.
Any questions for Connie? Our window project complete?
No.
Do I have to talk to somebody?
There was a error in measurement on 3 of the units, so they had to reorder. But the ones that are in are fantastic.
They are.
They're beautiful, they're well done. The carpentry on them was done very well as well. So
Good to hear, very
we're
good.
just waiting on 3 of the smaller units that'll happen hopefully by August.
Good, thank you, Connie. Okay, moving on, Plan Commission.
Okay, so we talked about the guidelines for the sidewalk cafe. In doing so, there is an ordinance 228-2015. Basically, it gives all the things that are required, fencing, permit fees. We are going to do a revised application. I know in the brochure, I call it a brochure, but like the requirements, some of those things weren't necessarily matching up. I believe we're making changes to them, so it goes along with the ordinance, so everything follows through on that. Next item is property maintenance updates. I believe we're sending out letters to the addresses here for the, I know the weeds and stuff like that. I'm not sure if everybody's getting one or not. I don't remember exactly. I know it said letters were being sent out for the warning. Old business, where house numbers need to be installed on the houses. I think we're gonna bring that up at the next public safety meeting. And also at the public safety, we are referring electric bike enforcements because there's a lot of them around and a lot of kids riding them and not really caring about it, so. And that was it at the meeting.
Okay. I guess one thing that we talked about, Christina, you're probably interested in, was we are no longer underneath the pilot program. And I guess they had to refresh my memory and showed me that I had signed the ordinance that was done about in year 3 going into year 4. So we have an official ordinance with all those requirements that were in place. So we just cannot change them willy-nilly just by police chief's request or public safety's
Where can I
request.
get a copy of that?
I can bring one up. I'll go up tomorrow and
Yeah,
Or
so
email it to you.
unless you're gonna, unless the council table looks to amend the ordinance and change those requirements, we have to abide by those.
I
So,
did not realize that there was an ordinance now that we're still in the pilot program.
I didn't either until somebody showed me a copy of it. Well, you signed it in 2015. We
Yeah.
must have went from, I didn't realize we went back as far as 2012 with this outside dining thing. Now, we're over, going on 12 years already or
And what I
whatever.
knew is that we were under the pilot program until the construction was complete, so this was gonna be the last year under the pilot program.
You know, they showed me a copy of the ordinance that was signed and outlining all the requirements, so until that time, we gotta stay with that until this body makes a recommendation to change it. So we'll be required to house your patrons inside of the cage. Now, you do it the way it is because the sidewalk is yours now. You elect to put anchors in there or core drill and put sleeves in there, and there's various ways to do it. It is your sidewalk, so, you
She's
know.
gonna
that-
email me a copy tomorrow and I'll read it, but I definitely would prefer not to have a fence, but if it's in the ordinance, then I'm gonna follow the ordinance.
Appreciate that, appreciate your understanding of that. We kind of were enlightened as a group, as planning, and of course, we've got, but we brought Dave Grattan in. I asked him to attend that meeting, and he never threw away anything for all the time that he was, so he's got a shop full of 2 file cabinets for every piece of paper, and he's always the source we go to be able to come up with something. He brought it, he met with one of the plan commission members prior, so they had all the paperwork here supporting what we were doing. And yeah, it's an ordinance. We have to follow the letter of the ordinance. So, I'm not saying that you can't appeal to public, plan commission is really the one that set the standards. Public safety just enforces it.
So if there's any changes that I would like, I should go to Penn.
Plan commission, or
Got it.
request a time before the plan commissions. All right, thank you, ma'am. Didn't mean to take your thunder, but I thought it was time to explain that. Been here a while. Okay,
What are you guys doing with the e-bikes? What's your plan there?
Oh,
that's referred to
we're gonna go
public
to public
safety.
safety.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess you could probably, you know, put some recommendations together. I'm not really up on it. Is there a age requirement, Christine, when you rent an e-bike out to a customer?
If they're not an adult, they have to ride with a parent,
Okay.
so,
So it's not just 16 years old with a driver's license?
no. But there is laws, but just for my business, we require parents.
There are a lot of kids younger than 16 probably on big bikes.
They're not mine.
Okay.
There's a lot of other kids.
Good to know.
Do you have include bikes too that
I only have 4,
have
so.
diesel engines on them?
Yeah, I was gonna say the gas engine, or the
Yeah.
gas powered ones are the
We
ones that
did,
have
we
problems
did
with.
refer all of them.
Yep.
Jane, you might want to make sure that gets on your next agenda for discussion.
Give myself a note.
So is it e-bikes and gas-powered bikes that
Yep.
we're gonna look at? Yes?
I think those gas bikes fall under motorized vehicles. don't
Yeah,
they?
that's something motorcycle.
They do. Okay, so there, you're supposed to have a driver's license.
Exactly. Yeah, those are already regulated differently,
Okay.
e-bikes.
E-bikes have a class 1, 2,
You don't need a CDL.
3. No, you don't need that.
Any other questions for Troy before he goes to ordinance, the reading of?
274.
You have the second reading. Did you find it?
Yeah. So, what's that?
You can dispense with the second reading and adopt.
Oh, okay, so I move
To dispense and adopt.
to dispense and adopt ordinance 274-2025.
Ordinance to amend. City of Juneau
Ordinance,
ordinance.
ordinance to amend City of Juneau ordinance 17.08.420 B2 Central Business District Conditional Uses. The Common Council of City of Juneau ordains to amend ordinance 17.08.420 to read as follows.
You made the motion to waive the second reading and
Okay.
proceed to vote. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Motion by Justman, second by Chapman. Any further discussion? This is basically to amend or to eliminate the adult entertainment in our downtown district, so. We've had the previous reading. If this is approved, then it will go to ordinance. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Justman,
Aye.
Chapman,
Aye.
Flutie,
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Ordinance 274-2025 has been amended. Anything else from Plan Commission?
That's it.
Moving on, finance.
Thank you for your help.
Oh boy.
Okay, finance, we met tonight, and we approved the change order for fire truck 2371, and approved repairs for storm sewer on East Oak Street. And I don't know if you want me to go over the last meeting. I think that's all we did at the last meeting though too. So I do have two resolutions. The first resolution is Resolution 27, 2025. Approve additional funding for the fire truck 2371 from Seagrave Fire Apparatus LLC. Whereas the Public Safety and Finance Committee have reviewed a change order received from Seagrave Fire Apparatus LLC for additional damages noted after inspection for fire truck number 2371, and whereas the Public Safety and Finance Committee recommend approving change order number 1 in the amount of $30,114.28 to proceed with repairing the additional items as seen in Exhibit A, and whereas the Finance Committee recommends using the 2024 debt proceeds to cover the additional cost not to exceed $30,114.28. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of July 2025. I make a motion to approve the additional funding for fire truck number 2371 from Seagrave Fire Apparatus LLC.
Motion by Foodie, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Justman. Any further discussion? As it was discussed earlier at the meeting, this is a frontline truck for the fire department. It's our ladder truck that cost of replacement, you're talking probably between $1.5 and $2 million. So a $400,000 repair looks pretty good. They kind of guarantee it to be like day one condition when it's all done. And we do not stress our vehicles very much at all. The few hours that we put on them during the last 20 years, it's almost laughable, you know, compared to what a full-time fire department puts on them. So I think doing the right thing to repair the truck and put this one back in service for the next 20 years. Seeing none, roll call vote.
Flutie,
Aye.
Justman,
Aye.
Chapman,
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Resolution 27, 2025 is passed.
Okay, Resolution 28, 2025, approve additional costs to the East Oak Grove Street reconstruction project. Whereas the Finance Committee has reviewed the need to fix the storm sewer on East Oak Grove Street before the street construction project begins. And whereas the Finance Committee recommends using the 2024 debt proceeds to cover the additional cost of the East Oak Grove Street reconstruction project not to exceed $12,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of July 2025. I move to approve the additional cost of the East Oak Grove Street reconstruction project.
Motion by Foodie, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Chapman. Any further questions or comments? Again, like I said, this street was done in '91, I believe, so the underground facilities were done back then. We did an extensive study of our utility infrastructure as far as sewer main, and we actually did sewer laterals this time. We televised them right up into the homes and what have you, and they're all free of defect, but the storm sewer didn't fare so well in a couple locations. And it was old concrete sewer pipe that they used for storm sewer back then. So, yeah, we get 30+ years out of it. I guess we're doing all right. So, just need to be done before we put the money into the repaving. The repaving is 400 some odd thousand to go from one end of the street to the other. So, we want to make sure everything underground is good. So, no further questions or comments? Call the question. Roll call vote, please.
Foodie.
Aye.
Chapman.
Aye.
Chessman.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Resolution 28, 2025 is passed. Anything else from finance? Okay, moving on, personnel committee. He's not here. We didn't have a meeting, did we? No,
It was
that's-
canceled.
Nope, okay. Moving on, public safety then. Jane.
Okay, our last meeting was June 10th. We talked about the 1850 Sidewalk Cafe, and Troy gave an update from Plan Commission. We approved beer and liquor licenses and cigarette and tobacco licenses. And we have a resolution, resolution number 29, 2025, approved to extend premise for the 1850s Inn. Whereas the Public Safety Committee has reviewed a request from the 1850s Inn to block off Fair Street on the side of 1850s to the start of the alley across from the street from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You wanted it noon, didn't it?
We're gonna start setting up before, the
Okay.
event starts at noon.
To 7 p.m. on July 12th. And whereas the 1850s Inn has also requested to have their license premise extended to include the closed-off area on July 12th, 2025 for the purpose of holding a benefit for the displaced tornado victims. And whereas all hard liquor and wine coolers must be in plastic containers. And whereas the Public Safety Committee recommends approving the request as presented above. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation passed by the Common Council of the City of Juneau this 8th day of July 2025. I move to approve passage of to approve the extended premise of the 1850s.
Motion by Foodie, second by Justman. Any further discussion? Christina, you did this with a bags tournament not too long ago, if I recall right.
When we closed out the street,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
didn't have a tent.
And they were very respectful. Driveway opening across the street there, they made sure that that was left open or whatever. I don't think there was any issues with that whatsoever.
Yeah,
So-
I really don't like to impede speed or traffic flow or anything, so, but this is just a lot of people, so.
So I think it's only gonna be even safer now with the bump out there and whatever, to be able to contain them on the side of Fair Street. I'm sure Christine would love to have Fair Street to expand her business there, but, like I said, I don't think there was any issues when they had a bags tournament, and I don't anticipate it's for a good cause, for people that gone through some hardship, and I commend her for her efforts in doing that, so I think all should go well. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Foodie.
Aye.
Chessman.
Aye.
Chapman.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Resolution 29, 2025 is passed. Anything else from public safety?
I have nothing.
Public Works? Doug, you want to take that one?
I don't, I didn't make any notes for tonight, we just had the meeting tonight, because it was canceled last week or week before, so.
Pretty much covered everything that we,
Yeah.
previous resolutions. Storm sewer was the big one. We are having a few issues with deciding what we want to do with the paving of Miller Street to accommodate a few trips and falls, but I think we got a plan in place for that.
We do have a resolution here, 30-2025, approve renaming Industrial Avenue. Whereas the Public Works Committee received a request to rename Industrial Avenue, and whereas the Public Works Committee has received complaints stating that semi-traffic is getting confused between Industrial Avenue and Industrial Road. Whereas the Public Works Committee recommends renaming Industrial Avenue to East Cross Street. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the City of Juneau accepts the aforementioned recommendation. Passed by the Common Council. So, okay, yeah, I guess I'll make a motion to rename Industrial Ave.
I'll second it.
Motion by Lee, second by Chapman. Further discussion. It's been kind of a confusing issue. We have Industrial Road and we have Industrial Avenue. Industrial Avenue is the one that renders a short chunk between the two cross streets, East Cross Street and Mill Street. So that's just going to be a continuation from South Main Street by the cemetery, going all the way down, making a left and a right. That is the stretch that we're talking about that's getting renamed. It's just a continuation of East Cross Street, even though it goes north and south for one block. Just taking that Industrial Avenue out of it, so. Motion and second, any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Lee,
Aye.
Chapman,
Aye.
Foodie,
Aye.
Justman,
Aye.
Resolution 30, 2025 is passed. Anything else from Public Works? I'm not aware, we did have some issues. We're meeting with the contractors tomorrow on the stamping of the plaza, Gathering Plaza. It appears that they waited too long before they attempted their stamping, and now we have flaking of the surface and what have you, so we'll see how that shakes out. We're meeting with the contractor and engineer tomorrow, so let you know when we get some results on that. Hate to see it all tore out, but I didn't really start to think that's going to be the only avenue. So. Moving on, cable TV, Jane.
All right, cable TV, we did not have a quorum at our last meeting, but we will be meeting on Monday, July 14th. And we'll be looking at the future of cable TV as a community media resource, the status of the ELO project, and David has a whole list of equipment purchases for us that we'll just take a look at and review. So that's all I have for cable TV.
Any questions for Jane? No questions. CDA, we did not have a meeting. The prior meeting, we executed Whisker or APCP's right of first refusal to purchase the property across from them in attempts to install a future parking lot and a future building. So we did accept an offer from them, and that did go across the attorney's desk. Somewhere it slipped between the property owner. They have a third party that they deal with that actually owns the property, and somehow that accepted offer didn't get to him. Now it's been taken care of.
Yeah, it's a good offer now, so,
So
good shape.
everything should be finalized just as soon as they run her through the title company.
They want to run it through their title company, and then they have a few inspections they're going to do. But I would expect it would most likely close sometime in August.
Okay, very good. Their intent initially was to get a parking lot installed so they can get some of the cars off the street on South Fairfield there.
I see it staked out already, but it isn't for a parking lot.
staked out.
Yeah.
They do have a contractor lined up, so he's
Oh,
chomping at the
okay.
bit. He doesn't want to
They
fill
might-
the slot with somebody else.
They might be doing some survey work too.
Could be.
They did come in for a building permit,
Yeah, they did.
Okay,
so soon.
good.
A little soon, you can't take out a building permit if you don't own the property.
No, not at all.
I have a question about that. Is it gonna be paved at some point?
Right now, they were talking just gravel, but that's gotta come back for plan commission approval as well, so. I don't want a dust bowl down there, so if they're gonna do gravel, they better come up with some kind of sealer on top of it. So,
If they hurry up, they can use them road graders. Watch, right?
yeah,
So,
works out good. Okay. Nothing else from CDA, moving on, rec committee, Jan again. God, you got a lot of committees. Somebody didn't like
Just
you
lucky
when I
that
put
way, I
out the
guess.
plan.
All right, rec committee did meet on Wednesday, June 18th. We welcomed Jessica Nails-Rennock to the committee, and I'm very excited that our rec is getting back. And just a few things that we did is that we're looking to add a shed at the Wild Goose soccer fields for goals, flags, and other park and rec storage and concessions. Thank you, Mayor Wagner, for talking to Modern Woodsman in regards to a donation that should be covering the building. And then we also discussed sport coaching reimbursement credits for future programs. Hunter brought a draft policy and discussed putting forth the reimbursement for all head coaches for youth sports programs to have consistency and incentive for parents to help coach. The reimbursement is 50% of the registration cost credited back to the recreation through the rec software team sideline. So that's pretty exciting and a great incentive for coaches. And then we discussed recreation sponsorship opportunities, which I was very impressed with Hunter. He brought together some different ideas and prices. And we're gonna look into banners and tailor the sponsorship towards a sports season so that the banners can be up for that entire season or the entire year, depending on how it plays out. So, Wild Goose Park, the soccer fields, we looked at two different possibilities for rearranging the fields, and Hunter brought a couple of images to discuss rearranging the soccer fields of the Wild Goose Park to allow the far north youth field to be expanded to a more suitable size. I understand the field must have been very small before. So, and then the rec director's report, June 4th, there are 23 kids that showed up for a free game at kickball. Summer programs, T-ball had its first week last week with 21 kids that are registered. There's one summer rec softball team coached by Michelle Brewer. They played a total of 5 games this summer versus Rubicon and Iron Ridge. There will be tennis lessons starting in June for ages 5 through 12. Adult sand volleyball registration is open. Games hopefully will start mid-July. Hunter's working on finalizing adult softball league late summer, fall. There will be a punt, pass, and kick competition in August for kids ages 5 through 13. Fall programs, we're planning to have flag football, and adult kickball league is planned for this fall, starting in September. Events we're having is National Night Out is Tuesday, August 5th from 6 o'clock to 8 p.m. And the rec department is again providing the dunk tank. Hunter was asked to create and bring a coaching parent code of conduct policy to the next meeting. And I just want to reiterate that I'm very excited the direction that our rec program is going. He's got a lot of programs started and a vision for the future, so.
I agree totally with Jane that I'm very impressed. He's very easy to talk to. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He seems to have fresh ideas and bringing a lot to the table, and just a common guy. You know, he's the type of guy that you want around your kids and what have you, and I think he's going to do some good for the community. And I'm quite sure he's moved into the community now, so found a place to live, so that'll be helpful too. But yeah, I'm looking for good things for the rec program as well. And you see a lot of his posts online already, you know, for some of the, I don't know how people are following up on some of the things he's got to offer, and he's got kickball leagues and all kinds of stuff going, so.
Let me just add, if you see his post, share them, get
Yeah.
the news out there.
For sure, for sure. So it's going in the right direction anyway, so very good chance. Okay,
Is there not there's not a softball league anymore in Juneau?
is that sad?
I mean, I haven't played since
Unfortunately, no.
for a long, long time, but I didn't know there wasn't one.
We haven't had one other than what Christina brought on a private level. She tried to get sponsors like the Chamber and the Lions, but we've all done that stuff, you know. It's a commitment, you know. We've done that when we were all in our 20s and 30s. We're not going to go and come 10 bar for 3 nights a week. But yeah, you used to have to wait to get playing time on those
Tournaments?
fields
There'd
down
be
there.
tournaments down there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing
Really
anymore.
getting a lot started.
I hope
So
we
it's good to see
can
it.
get some of the youth ball back into town too, because it's kind of a shame everything went to climbing, but they got a pretty good program down there, so that's gonna be a tough road to hoe there, so I don't think that'll come back anytime soon. But at least getting the T-ballers started and what have you. Nick Dahlman from our utilities, he's got a son that age, so he's taking an interest in helping him out, and you know, it's always helpful to have somebody within the community that knows these kids' names and stuff like that, and when you got a guy coming into your community that doesn't know anybody. But I think he's got a good hands-on approach with the kids and whatever. I think he'll do well. So. Okay, moving on, utility.
That was a long one last night. It seems like, well, how this we had a public appearance from MSA, and with the change order 8, which there's a lot of questions brought up about that. I believe we got most of them resolved, or is there's still some things out there, I believe, correct?
You know, I'm not happy with a few.
Yeah, well, I don't think any of us are actually, and for good reason. Their overcharges are getting a little ridiculous. The monthly business vouchers were approved. To date, the utility has spent $170,585 on tornado damage, which we believe that insurance will cover most of that, the way it sounds, correct?
Very likely.
Resolution 24-2025, approved compliance maintenance report. Consumption losses, we only had 8 delinquent customers last month, which I believe was down, correct?
Mhm.
It's normally higher than that. The utility accountant, she sent thank you letters out to other municipalities for helping us with our outage we had during the tornado. They discussed lowering the $50 fee for water, but it was decided to just leave it where it's at for fairness all the way across the board and less confusion. We were approached by the Juneau Police Department for community contributions. They're looking for donations to help fund programs they provide to the community, and we approved a $100 donation to the Juneau Police Department with the possibility of another donation later this year. We reviewed and discussed the MEUW wage survey results. It seems that people that work for the city of Juneau are behind other communities when it comes to payroll, which that is going to be brought up for further discussion, I believe, at the Finance Committee.
There'd be a special.
There'll be a special meeting, okay, there'll be a special utility meeting for that. Electrical superintendent was not present, but he gave us a projects update. Nick said the ATC project is nearing completion, and the Fair Street project should be done next week. Is that the light poles and stuff? Okay.
The overhead power lines.
All right, oh, okay. Wastewater superintendent, again, change order number 8 was brought up. Discussed with Cherry for a total of $21,140.70 credit is what they're giving us. Other project updates, 42 hydrants have been repainted. I don't know if anybody noticed the red paint on the I'm sure it's gone by now, we've all mowed a couple of times, so. But, I was watching them that day, they weren't over effort to protect anything. I'm glad my house is quite away from the fire hydrant, or a car.
Corvette.
Yeah. Yeah, comments are noticeable, they're overspraying grassy areas. The required DNR lead and copper water sampling of 20 homes was completed in June. Only one site test result was high. The second sampling will be done in July. Bill credits will be issued to participants who receive their hydrant buddy. It's a tool that helps them open up the hydrants and close it. And so they said they're behind on flushing right now, but they were gonna get at that and get that done hopefully before fall, or go into fall with it. I don't know, how many hydrants are in the city, do you know? A couple hundred, I suppose?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They cleaned and televised about 10,000 feet of sewer. 2 lift stations, not finding any significant leaks. Greg and Joe from MSA to discuss WWTP project and their performances. Alex provided them with 4 pages of bullet point items. For the facility plan amendment, Alex requests a special commission meeting to interview new engineering firms, which we go back to the change order number 8 again. We're gonna start looking for a different engineering firm because they're getting a little greedy, a little too complacent, I would say. Not paying attention to the customer. Troy and Alex attended a UV disinfection course. Sensinet is asking when their new contract limits will be put into place since the upgrade is complete. And he has asked permission, which it's already been budgeted in, so it ain't like we gotta come up with the money. The money was already there, but Alex will be purchasing a new pickup truck. That's for WWTP, right? Okay. The old trucks were what, 09s or something? Or?
2 of them are 09s, I forget what third one is.
But they sounds like they're pretty worn out. Let's see. Oh, the house that burned down on North Main Street is being raised, which I mean, they're tearing it out. So utilities need to be abandoned, possibly capped. In Boulevard, yeah, where they go out in the street, yeah. And a newly hired operator for WWTP starts tomorrow, which I would guess was today. The meeting was last night. The WPPI annual meeting is set for September 16th through the 18th and is being held in Green Bay. Anyone wishing to attend should contact Lori. Other than that, that was about it. The meeting was adjourned at 8:12.
Who is your new hire?
I don't know what his name is.
His name is Brian.
Good report. Any questions for Doug? Yeah, it was a rather lengthy meeting. We
Yeah.
did spend a lot of time with
Number 8 there.
the overcharges or the credits and extras that we're trying to finalize, and just a lot of things that were omitted that you would think should be part of the base engineering contract that they're charging extra for, and it seems like we never get our real bang for the buck when when something is missed. They give us a small credit, but then what costs us additional is things that they had missed, and it doesn't compensate us for what was missed. So that's where the talk of maybe have to look at another engineering firm, because this was $1.2 million base contract with another $500,000 time and materials. So that is those are substantial numbers, you know, when you're talking for a $13 million project, and things like controls were missed for the heating system and stuff like that, and $16,000 extra for that, but we're gonna give you $5,000 credit because we missed it.
whatever.
Yeah,
so
they're playing
It's
with.
not a very good deal.
No, it's just, it just started to accumulate to the point where I think the utility, Alex had 4 legal pages of bullet points on things that were missed or that he wasn't happy with on how the engineering went on the project, so, you know, and they're valid points, there's no two ways about it. I'm glad we got somebody that cares enough to run a total sheet or a punch list and saying, hey, this could have been done differently, this cost us this much more, you know. So, anyway, that's where we're at on that. Don't want to beat a dead horse here, so. But other than that, any other questions for utility? Moving on then. The old business night, new business, approve provincial licenses for 45 days, there are none. Approve regular bartender's license for 2025, expires June 30th, 2026. Madeline Keel, Michelle Felder, and Troy Stock. Is there a motion to approve those regular
I'll
bartenders?
make a motion to approve the bartender's licenses.
Motion by Foodie, second by Chapman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Fruity, second by Lee. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. This meeting is closed.